I hear things about Bob Knight in regards to his legacy and says, well, he has a complicated legacy. No, it's not. It's not complicated. I'm going to tell you why it's not complicated. Bob Knight, as a head coach, right, his track record as a head coach, his winning 3 championships, gold medal, Olympics, is one of the great resumes of all time. That we can never question Bob Knight as a basketball coach as far as understanding the game of basketball, as far as graduating his players and what have you. Bob Knight, and I don't like to speak ill of the dead, but the guy was an ass. Let's be honest, he was an asshole. And I don't like to speak ill of the dead, but you're talking about a guy who choked a player, who headbutted a player, who once punched a cop in Puerto Rico, assaulted a cop. Like this guy was not a good guy per se. This guy, he brought a bullwhip to a press conference. A bullwhip to a press conference. Think about that. Hey, it's on YouTube. Trust me, you don't believe me. It's actually on YouTube. He is, and like I said, I wouldn't want if I had a son, I don't have kids, but if I did have a son, I wouldn't want him to play. I would not want them to play for Bob Knight. Sorry. There are too many character flaws with Bob Knight. And there was the media really, maybe just because there's a lack of social media and we don't have as much access now as we did back then, different time. But I don't think the media did the greatest job of holding him accountable to the level that they should have. I think Bob Knight falls alongside of a group of coaches, most of them white, that won a lot of games, but that were not just great people, and their wins kind of washed over their sins as far as with them as in terms of their character. I would include him in the category with Woody Hayes. You do your research, a guy like Adolph Rupp, those guys, Bo Schembechler, guys that just didn't have the greatest reputations as people. Now, like I said, Bob Knight and Woody Hayes and Adolph Rupp, they won a ton of games, but you did do some dig deep in terms of from just a morale and character standpoint. Bob Knight treated the media like shit. Anytime you questioned him or had a journalistic type question, you would immediately turn into a bully. And just go look at the interview. He did an interview with Jeremy Schaap. This is when Jeremy Schaap was young. Maybe Jeremy Schaap was in his mid-20s, early 30s, mid-20s. He was really making his way in the landscape, was trying to get out from under the shadow of the legendary Dick Schaap, who was a legendary media personality, a legendary just sports personality in general. Dick Schaap, sports supporters, the whole nine. So Jeremy Schaap is out there just at this point, he was trying to get from under that. And he did a great interview with Bob. He came at Bob Knight. It was respectful, but yet he did not back off. And you know how he got Bob Knight? When Bob Knight said, "You're not your father." That was checkmate for Jeremy Schaap. That means these questions are so good, you don't want to answer them. All you can say is, "You're not your father." If you're arguing with somebody and they say, "You're ugly," they have no retort. Or I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere. That's how he treated the media. Like, no, you couldn't say anything about him. You couldn't question him. I get the sense that he had a bunch of yes people around him that would just kiss his ass. I kind of get that sense that I don't know. I question how many friends that this dude really have, to be honest with you.